My name is Ashley, and I grew up in North Fresno, but I don't think that defines who I am or where I came from entirely. Back when I grew up, I knew there were certain parts of Fresno I really wasn't supposed to be around just because they were dangerous or my parents didn't know much about them and they just didn't want me over there. Um, which was all fine until I graduated high school and started attending Fresno City College, which to them was terrifying, and to me was also terrifying, but a little bit exciting. While I was at Fresno City, I became exposed to ideas that I never knew even existed back in North Fresno. Things like systematic racism or America's oppressive history, and even, while this may be shocking, but ideas like cutting taxes wouldn't solve the world's problems. It was through the introduction of these ideas that I began to experience a passion for justice that I never knew I had. At the same time, I slowly began my walk with God. And it was during that time that I started doing a program called the Pink House. It was in downtown Fresno, and we essentially moved downtown in with a bunch of strangers we didn't know with the goal of connecting with each other and learning how to celebrate differences instead of just tolerating them. So that was where I first became exposed to social action, and through the Pink House, I was able to start an internship with No More Slumlords, which was an advocacy group that I thought would be interesting because while I was being confronted with all these ideas about what was wrong, I didn't have any way of fixing them. So I wanted to join a campaign because I'm a very action-minded person, and it made sense that when something's wrong, you go and fix it. So I began this internship fully engaged and ready to hear from my community, and while I anticipated some pushback, mostly from my family and a few friends that didn't really fully understand what I was doing, I wasn't actually prepared for the rejection that I received just going door to door. I mean, we would get watched by managers, we would spend hours outside in pouring rain and also in 100-degree heat, get the doors slammed on us, got hit on a few times. That made me a little nervous. Pretty soon it was really discouraging, and after a few months I finally talked to my leader, Sergio, and I worked up the courage to ask him if I could have another assignment because I didn't like the one I'd been given. And he agreed that we could do something else, and I felt better. But shortly after this conversation, Sergio's wife, also named Ashley, pulled me aside and she talked to me. And she told me that everything I do, all of my actions, everything for a cause has the potential to make a difference. So even things like canvassing for hours, getting rejected, getting watched by managers, hit on by strange men, things like that, meeting with politicians, even putting stamps on a mailer has the potential to make a big impact because it's not about me. It's about the people that I'm trying to serve. And those words, coupled with doing the Pink House and having several mentors in my life who were able to sit there and help me process through the new kind of paradigm shift I was going through, kind of affirmed that. They told me if I really want to get into this work, if I want to actually go and be an advocate or a community organizer or whatever it is I wanted to be, then I couldn't make it about me. And right now I was making it about me. And so shortly after, the routine housing ordinance passed, which was really exciting because getting to be part of an advocacy campaign where something actually happens, like the policy passes, is a huge deal. But everyone kept asking me if I was proud of all the work I'd done and things like that. But after that whole paradigm shift, it didn't really make much sense to me. I mean, I was only in there for the very end of the campaign, and even then, most of the time I spent not having fun canvassing. It wasn't until the last couple months, which at that point the campaign had been going for years, at least back to like 5 years prior, and I had just joined in the last few months. So I carefully corrected them and said that I was proud of all the work that my team had done because I was only in it for the last little bit. And usually people just kind of politely smiled and went on with their life. But I think that that difference is really important because you can't go into this work expecting a lot of thank yous and a lot of shout outs for all your work and things like that. Like, yes, it's nice and It's good to feel affirmed, but you can't go and expect that. I think when we start expecting that, we start making it about us. And none of this is about us. If we want to go and change the world, it can't be about us. So that's my call to action here. I'm encouraging us to stop thinking about me. Stop thinking about what it is that you want out of whatever it is you're doing and what it is that the community could get. I mean, we've learned about asset-based community development and things like that, but that whole theory is rooted in the idea that it's not about you and what you think is best. It's what the community has and what they believe that they need. Thank you.